Hi, Meir Ezra here, and I want to talk to you again about the corona's truth. What's actually going on? Okay, so the question many people ask, what's the purpose of the corona? Why people doing it? They feel instinctively that there is some kind of some organization or a person that pushing this thing, and they have different ideas as to why this is happening. And in order to find why, you first have to find why not. Okay? So let's start with the big story of 5G. Okay? So I want to ask you, do you actually know what does it mean frequency? What does it mean wavelength? Do you actually know what it is? Because if you don't know that, you will not be able to decide for yourself if it's 5G or 7G or 3G. Because someone told you that it's terrible, and you have a video on YouTube that says that it's terrible, but is it your opinion, or is it someone feeding you something and you just parroting what you heard? So how do you make sure that you are not a parrot? The only way to make sure that you are not a parrot is to actually 100% understand what is it all about. Okay? So let's start and have a look. What is it all about? Okay? So frequency means number of time that something repeat within a second or within a period of time. So when there is 1 hertz, hertz is a unit of measurement of frequency, it means it's repeating once every second. Okay? When you hear 1 kilohertz, kilo mean 1,000, and then you have mega, giga, and so on. Okay, so it's just how many times it repeats per second. Okay, now the higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. The wavelength is the distance between 2 peaks, and it's measured in centimeters. So the higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. Okay. Now, people using different frequencies because they have advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so what's used right now for cell phones is a certain frequency around 900 megahertz to 2 gigahertz, depends on which networks and so on. And the good things about this frequency that it has a relatively long distance, long wavelength, relatively, but the lower the frequency, the longer the wavelength, the less data that you can transmit. So the whole idea behind 5G is let's go to a higher frequency so we can send more data faster. What's the problem is that the distance gets reduced. You cannot transmit as far with high frequency. So what does it mean for us, the users, and how dangerous it is for a person? Because the frequency is higher and because the distance is shorter, you will see that the device that you will carry will need to receive and transmit to a shorter distance because there will be many antennas that are closer. Okay? The second part is that because they transmitting for shorter range, they're transmitting with less energy. Okay, so overall what you get is you get a situation where you transmit less energy to shorter distance. So why will it become dangerous? Why will people say that it's dangerous? Well, actually they don't know if it's dangerous. They just say it hasn't been tested, but it's not true. Because radar technology that using high frequency, has been around for many, many, many years. And I've been exposed to radar technology, and because I've been in the Israeli Navy, in the Army, and I can tell you for sure that if you are not on the antenna, if you're not really sitting on the antenna, the damage is nothing. There's no damage. There's no real damage. And this thing been used for many years, for at least, I'm estimating 70 years. So it's not a new technology. What they do with that frequency and how they manage it is different, but it's not new technology. So it is not the source of the coronavirus, even if it is dangerous. And I'm saying it was not tested, but even if it was dangerous, it's not the source of the coronavirus, because in Cape Town there's no 5G and there's people that are dying from corona. And in many other places where there's no 5G, people get dying from corona. And then people say, well, but there are satellites that are transmitting. What the satellite's transmitting is something totally different. The energy is very, very, very low, but still, let's say that it's true. In one day, all over the world, within 1 month, everyone gets sick. And then if you block the airports, the number of people that get sick become much lower. So what? The frequency knows that you close the airport? Something do not make sense. So 5G is not the reason for corona, that's for sure. In the next video, we'll check the chips and we'll check the vaccine and we'll check other theories. And then you will find out, not by someone telling you, you will find out what's the real why behind the coronavirus. And it's not what you think, and it's not what everyone tells you in YouTube. Because the reason they're telling you in YouTube it's 5G, it's 5G, it's 5G, so you'll have something to fight. They're actually hiding the real reason. Because if everyone running after 5G and they think it's 5G, it's 5G, they have something to fight and they don't see what the real reason is. That's the story. Meir Ezra, Cape Town, heaven. Look at that sunset. It's just unbelievable. I love Cape Town, I love heaven, and I love you. Bye-bye.